Hello there, folks, and welcome to the stream. My name is Mike D'Angelo, aka that Tellest guy. We are back today looking at our new Volcano Sacrifice map. I started doing a little bit of work before the stream started just to get some momentum on it, and of course now everything has taken a little bit longer than I expected to. We're going to grab a clipping mask real quick, and you'll see why. I'm going to try and see if we can't do a little bit of work on making this feel a little bit more like an altar, because there's no real altar that I quite like from this set yet, so we're going to play with certain things and see if we can get it to feel appropriate for what we're building. So I just kind of want like this section of the rock, so we're going to try and be cool about getting rid of everything else. We'll see how we're able to put it all together, if we're able to pull it off the right way. Okay, we're getting there. And can we do this with a circle for the rest of the way? I think it's going to be tough, but I might be able to do the rest with maybe like the path tool. Every now and then, like, you see some really amazing stuff that people are doing with like the path tool, and I don't know necessarily that I'm really good at it, but let's try and see what we can do. So let's do trying to figure this out. I don't know what the best way to pull this off is. Nope. Did not mean to do that. See, the worst part about this is that, like, when you're trying to draw some of this extra stuff, I feel like I want a little bit that I can put here that looks like this texture, and I don't know that I'm going to be able to pull anything like that off. And there's no like eyedropper tool or anything like that, so it does get kind of pain in the butt-y. But that would be like the perfect shape. That's all I need. Yeah, this isn't going to work the way that I want it to, unfortunately. Well, let us try something a little different then. I don't know necessarily that we're going to be able to pull this idea off any better, but we're going to try it. So I've got the outlines that I want. So let's try and build off of that. Oh, you know what? I can just put this right up against those outlines too. I don't have to worry about a mess with that because it'll cover those. All right, there we go. There's our altar. That actually turned out pretty good. I just needed to develop a couple new techniques. Let's do a save just because I don't want to lose what we have, and then if we need to, we can make some adjustments later. Nice. Thanks, Brianna. Oh, it takes forever to save. I forgot to tell you, Rihanna, when Luna was up here, she decided to grumble at me until I moved off of the little blanket that I sit on up here because she wanted the spot. She was not shy about telling me. All right, let's go back to fantasy battle maps, and we're going to try and see if we can't find like a ceremonial dagger or something like that. We got this Monster Hunter knife. I'll have that there, and let's do a blood spatter. But we're going to make this look smaller and a little bit more opaque. And when we get it on there, let's do a color thing. She's such a chatty brat. 25,000 coins to spend. You're going to need them once we get to 85 followers. We have 60 now because we had one of the Kickstarter folks helped us out a decent amount. All right, we're going to do that color right there, so it'll look a little bit more dry, perhaps. I'll darken it a little bit. All right, let's do, that's good for now. It's a good start. You'll see I also did these torches. I figured just because you can see all this stuff on the ground below doesn't mean that you can easily see which way you're going up here, and I wanted to make sure that if anybody is coming up here, they're not going to misstep or anything like that. We want to make sure that they're being safe. I did a couple more of these, and then I did like a rock over here. It just kind of distracts from some of the slightly uneven pieces over there. We're not going to do symmetrical, so that we have 6 over here. We'll have 5 over here. Let's do, we're going to do some more cracks in the ground too. Oop, I think it would help if I was on the foreground. Okay, and then I think we need to go that next step and then figure out how we're going to do the like volcanic islands down below and everything. Do you actually see that when you're doing, like when you're looking in a volcano? Let's see. I'm doing some research on the other side. We might as well look at it together. So we've got, it looks like on like the outer edges is where you've kind of got that little like darkened piece of things. I feel like so many of these are AI. And I'm also assuming you're not going to get a lot of active volcano pictures. So alright, let's try and go back to our background layer and let's see if we can come in here. Well, that's going to be a little bit of a problem. be a little bit more precise about it. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing over here. Clean up any of those spots that we need to in a second. Okay, and let's get in here with a little bit more of smaller brush so we can get that detail in there. Nope, you know what? I screwed up with that one. Okay, and that side looks good. Maybe a little bit more down here. Yeah, Rihanna, that just means that you're supposed to get me more hydration breaks. It's all part of my plan. I was feeling thirsty. Sitting up more straighter. It hurts, but it's good. And stretch. And more hydration. Gotta add one other to pet that dog. Yeah, but the only problem with pet that dog is if there's no dog to pet, then I feel silly. But I do think that eventually at some point I'd love to get like a camera that is specifically trained on like a dog bed that's in here so that we can show them off for stuff like that. Pet that wife? What if you're not up here? Pet that Michael? In the worst case scenario, I pet myself. Alright, so we've got that. I feel like that's pretty nice. And then let's do... We'll keep going on with the blending. So now that we have that first layer there, we can do another pass with a smaller amount. Is that going? Doesn't even look like it's going. Oh, it's because I'm at 0.03. It's supposed to be 0.25. There we go. Oh no, I hate that entire sentence and myself for typing it. Well, that's okay. You're allowed to hate whatever you need. Now it's going to become one of those TikTok phrases. Gonna pet that wife. Alright, so we've got that stuff there that's looking pretty good. Let's try and see if we can't change up some of the other parts of the flames. Do some deep red lava here and there as well, just to kind of break things up a little bit. Actually, I feel like it would be brighter up there. So let's do maybe somewhere we can see some of the stone that we had breaking through. Alright, that's definitely helping to some extent. It's okay. I don't care that we have any of that stuff there. Let's do a little bit of this just to, again, break things up a smidge. Just kind of blotting now. This one down a little bit, and we'll do a little bit more details. Alright, that looks a little bit more uneven in a good way, I hope. And we still got to figure out what else to do down here. Obviously, a big focus that you're going to see is on all the fire and lava and everything like that, but we do need to have some stuff going on above on the volcano cliffs and stuff like that, so let's try and work out some of those as well. Let's go over to, since we're doing some orky stuff here, let's try and figure out some more orc stuff to use. So if we go into stuff, maybe we put some drums down. Oh, we should have had braziers instead of torches, I guess. Maybe we'll scooch them down a little bit. A little bit further still, I guess. Braziers. Braziers. Braziers mean something different. When I look at this drum, I don't know what it's supposed to be. I don't know if it's like this laying on its side or not. I guess it is. So let's do this. We're going to bring it back down to 30. And we're going to make use of this rock that we have. So you're going to have two orcish drummers over here who are doing whatever ritual music. 158 changes is a decent amount. Let's save it. Excuse me. I think we're going to keep it tight today. We'll wrap things up in just a little bit. Let's see what other orky stuff we have. So we're not going to see a tanning rack or a bed or anything like that. The orc weapons we don't need. The stakes, I doubt it. Maybe we're not using any orc stuff. Let's go back to our inspiration real quick. Not the volcano map, but Monkey Island. Let's see. We've got... I'm thinking like specifically for points of interest. So we've got two things, right? Because we've got the altar itself. We've got the little orc drummer area. What else could we put here? Let's look at our other stuff. We implemented some monster hunting stuff. Let's take a look at the Gothic set. Let's see if anything else kind of speaks to... Oh, you know what? A cage makes a lot of sense. If they're going to be doing sacrifices, they might as well have some cages. So we'll have one big cage there. And maybe we'll do a smaller cage. Ooh. Smaller cage. Yep, 30 is a nice number. And maybe they're making things extra uncomfortable when they're dragging these things with chains. Let's see, if I do the lines, do you have a chain for me in here? Not Chan. There we go. Much smaller. Let's get rid of the caps too, if they let us. Okay, and maybe we'll do something similar up here. Two sets. And maybe we change the color scheme a little bit so that it's darker. I don't think we need to do anything with the contrast. All right, so we've got 3 points of interest now. We've got the cages, we've got the drums, we've got the altar. Maybe we can figure out something to do right here. You know what? This is probably going to be easy. No reaction from Luna, which is good. So this is going to be the shaman's hut. a straight shoot from here to the altar. Alright. So that's a pretty good little amount of work that we did in a very short amount of time. We've got our 4 points of interest in kind of like a diamond formation. We've got our people who are doing the ritual music over here. We've got the altar, we've got the cages, and we've got the shaman who's going to be performing the ritual. And I am drinking water as prescribed by my shaman, Rihanna. All right, let's. I'll save that one more time, and we're going to go into our show closing. And then this map is almost done. I just have to do a little bit of like flocking and stuff like that. Ooh, I do want a chalky milk. The man do want a chalky milk. So folks, on the screen right now, you should see all the places that you can find Tellest out there on the internet. I didn't talk about it really, but the Kickstarter is going on right now. So you should check it out. Just go to tellest.com/Kickstarter. It'll bring you the link to the Kickstarter. We secured 5 bonus maps for everybody yesterday. So if you back at the standard level, you're getting, at this point, 61 maps, and then if you were one of the day one backers, you're getting 71. You can also get those bonus maps if you're one of the highest pledges, one of our super backers for this campaign. That'll also get you a physical version of one of our maps, and it'll get you our art book and our tabletop game, Quantum Quest. So anyway, on the screen right now, you should be able to see all the places that you can find Tellest out there on the internet. Tellest.com is a great first place to start. It'll bring you to wherever any of our projects are. We've got 3 premium sites that you can go to. They're not as good priced as the Kickstarter is right now, so definitely head over to the Kickstarter if you're catching this video before that Kickstarter ends. But if the Kickstarter is done and you want to find other affordable ways to find our maps, patreon.com/Tellest is one of the best ways to do it, because you can get your maps pretty cheap. We usually do between, I want to say, 8 and 12 maps per month, map sets. Does that sound right? That sounds right to me. Between 8 and 12. And we always have lots of variants and point of interest documents and everything, so it's a good place to find it. If you want to get your maps a la carte, you can do that on battlemapfantasy.com. That'll just bring you to our publisher page on DriveThruRPG. Tellest.etsy.com is where you can find physical versions of our maps. We have like 63 or so versions of them right now, but we're working on getting more of them up all the time. We have 2 TikTok channels that you can check out. At Weird Witch Wands is where you can find Rihanna's one-of-a-kind handcrafted magic wands, and at Tales of Tellest is where you can find our Grumble Tush dogs. Luna is taking a break right now, so she's not doing anything funny, but give her a little bit of time, she'll do it again. You can also find our content on youtube.com/@worldoftellest. That's where you'll be able to find the backlog of all of our videos. But if you do want to catch us live, you can only do that on twitch.tv/thattellestguy, and that's when you can tell me to drink extra water and stuff like that. Sometimes you can hear it in my voice, I need that a little bit, but we're going to ease off the show today. We did a lot of work behind the scenes, and I still have to do a little bit more, so we're gonna just drop off for now. But I appreciate anyone who's watching this video at any point in time, and until next time, I miss you.